Greetings, this is Ludril and welcome to Let's Play Lamplight City. We're on a second case, the kidnapping of a child. Now, we're to track down Lydia Walker and we found where she works. So let's go visit that.
Good day to you, sir. Welcome to Solomon Stitching. I'm Jonah Solomon. Please let me know if I can help you with anything.
Quite the selection, but I doubt the typical clientele of this place buys off the rack.
Is this expensive? Because I thought the piece of fabric we found was from a cheap
Isaac
coat.
Samuels, the prime minister who freed the slaves. They say even his enemies wept on the day he died. I sure hope I get to meet him someday. This guy has been in business forever. The design of that coat looks awfully familiar.
Can we check it? No.
The design of that... My grandmother had one like that. I think it was meant to be relaxing, but it always felt like my time was running out. Now that it has... well, it actually is relaxing. Go figure.
Mr. Solomon?
Yes, sir. How may I be of service? Oh, let me guess. You're looking to replace that old coat. It looks like it's got quite a few stories it could tell me.
You
Hey,
should listen to the man, Miles. He clearly knows what he's talking about.
Not today, I'm afraid. There's still a few more stories it has left to tell. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions? Very well, but if they aren't about tailoring, I don't know how much help I'll be.
This is a nice shop you have. I never even knew it existed.
Well, better late than
damn,
never, I always say.
that beard.
Life has a funny way of always taking us where we need to go in the end.
True. Although I think it's easy to miss out on things from time to time.
Oh, of course, it's easy to overlook the details, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll end up where you need to be. And in this case, you ended up here. So, please, feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you find anything you like.
I found this piece of torn fabric with your emblem on it. Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes, brown, wool, houndstooth. This is from one of the more popular jackets I sell.
And here I thought my ability to name ales within 5 seconds of tasting them was good. This fella has me beat.
Do you have any of them in stock currently?
Well, sure, I've got one on the display dummy over there.
Is there any way you can tell me who you've sold them to?
Ooh, I don't think so. I've sold at least 20 in the past month. As I said, it's a very popular style.
That's a lot of coats.
Is there anything you can tell me about this button?
Looks like it's made of wood, not very well crafted either. Definitely not from one of my products.
How did you get into this business, Mr. Solomon?
I was always good with a needle and thread. When I was a boy in Poland, I would help my mother with her sewing. Then, during the war with Russia, I fixed uniforms and stitched up wounds. Not long after that, I moved to Vespuccia, settled here in New Bretagne. My first shop was in the Chum, but thankfully, I was very successful and was able to move to Lyon. I won't lie to you, this location is much, much nicer. It's refreshing to not have to step over drunken hobos when I open and close the shop.
Oh, but that's part of the charm of owning a business in the Chum.
Not much else to say beyond that. My business is my life.
You seem very dedicated to your craft.
That's right. You won't see any of that newfangled steam-powered nonsense in here. Everything is done by hand and with care. I use only the finest quality materials and stitch every thread myself. And that's the way it's gonna stay as long as I'm around. It's worked for 45 years. There's no reason to change as far as I'm concerned.
Do you by chance employ a seamstress named Linda Walker?
I do, yes.
Is she here?
No, she has the day off today, but she'll be in tomorrow.
Would it be possible to have her address?
Begging your pardon, but why should I give it to you?
I don't know how old the son was before he died, so I can't say that. I'll go with the truth, although it might not help.
I'm a private investigator, and it's crucial to this case.
Well, as I said, she'll be here tomorrow. You can ask her then.
It really is a matter of some urgency.
I'm sure it can wait a day.
But
If it were really that urgent, I would think the police would be involved, not a private investigator. I'm not obligated to tell you anything, so please, let's move on before I lose my patience.
please, Mr. Solomon, it's extremely important that I get Mrs. Walker's address.
So you said, but why should I?
Do I need to learn something
I know
else?
I said I was a private
Maybe?
investigator before, but there's a more delicate reason I want to speak with Mrs. Walker.
Oh?
Her son, Alexander, and mine were schoolmates. I just found a book he lent my son, and I wanted to return it. I've been trying to track her down for ages, and only just found out where she worked.
Oh, I see. It was a terrible tragedy what happened with her boy and her husband. I know how private Mrs. Walker is, but I'm sure she would appreciate you returning her son's book. All right. She lives at 403 St. Agnes Street.
Remember
That
when
works.
you couldn't even bring yourself to trick people into thinking their shoelaces were untied? You've come a long way, Miles.
I'll be taking my leave of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Very good.
Maybe we did learn the boy's age and I didn't remember it.
That cloth will be a garment soon. A vest, by the looks of it. Or maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's a treasure map.
I still can't do anything with
Come to
this.
think of it, I have seen plenty of people wearing that design. No tears in this one, though.
Okay. Maybe it's there to let us know how it looks like. I like the bell. Nice touch. That's loud.
It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs. Nobody home. Now what? Still nobody home. You're only gonna draw unwanted attention to yourself if you keep this up.
I thought maybe he could pick a lock or something.
Some people would call that humming and hissing the sound of progress. I'd call it annoying.
It is annoying, but better than being cold.
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Yes.
Damn. Oh well, what can I do for you?
SB plus CS.
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Do you know Linda Walker?
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days. She told me she was going away for a bit. Ah, that reminds me. She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Convenient.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure, I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
I can do that for you.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from her.
Right. Private detective. I don't have to do anything you say. You're not really the law. So nice try. But I'm not betraying Mrs. Walker's trust so easily.
He says that now, but I'm willing to bet he'd do it if it benefited him in some way.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
Do I know anyone that knows about steam engines? I don't remember.
Fine fuel source.
This is gonna blow up and we'll die. Oh.
It won't go any further.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
It won't go any further.
Yeah, okay. It's probably not gonna happen blindly.
These pipes are connected to the flue. They must heat up the water in this overgrown tea kettle.
But I don't see anything getting heated.
These pipes are connected.
It wouldn't be that hard to figure out. I'm not sure what these do. They go left and right. This doesn't raise. Alright, okay. We'll find someone that knows what he's doing, I guess.
I don't think you should leave this thing unattended.
Who the hell can we ask? This is the part where we ask everybody, I guess. Could be the guy, maybe he has some engineering knowledge. The father.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about repairing boilers, would you?
Oh, sure. I fix 10 of them every day before breakfast.
Just thought I'd ask. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it.
Then
Okay. Yep. It would. Oh, wait. God damn it. There are a ton of boilers here. Can the hair maybe help me?
She's running back.
There are a lot of boilers here, but no, I can't ask. Okay. Worth a try.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
I found this letter in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
You went through our things?
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Harris. It's part of my job.
Of all the insolence!
You're upset, I know, but do you want me to find your son or don't you?
Yes, of course I do. That letter was sent to me by mistake. It was written to my father. Well, if you can even call that writing.
Have I ever mentioned how much I hate rich people? Because I really hate rich people.
Your father. Doesn't he own the company building the new airship?
Yes, that's right. He's been receiving many letters just like that one since the Lygia disaster. But that Devons fellow in particular has sent one every week, along with a bag of chicken bones and dust.
How peculiar.
Not only that, he leads a daily protest in front of the construction yard where the HMS Lenore is being built, trying to halt production. My God! How did I not see this before?
See what?
Devons! He has a grudge against this family because of what happened with the Lygia. I'd put money on him being involved with the kidnapping somehow.
Yeah, it's
as
not
a
him.
form of retaliation.
I'll just have to speak with Mr. Devons and see for myself. Mr. Harris, what can you tell me about these?
What? How did you...
Listen, I'm trying to help you and your family. I can't do it if I don't get the entire truth.
Do you think we could discuss this somewhere more private?
I suppose we could.
Good. Let's move to the nursery then.
You know what? I want to speak to the wife first. Now that they are separated.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris. I may have more...
Ah, can't do that. Alright.
Shall we continue our conversation, Mr. Harris?
Yes, of course.
Now that your wife is out of earshot, tell me about the kidnapping and what these betting stubs have to do with it.
Right. As I said before, it had already happened when I got home. I had just come from spending the evening at the meadows.
I see. I take it your wife isn't impressed by your hobby?
I promised her weeks ago that I would stop going, but I've had such a good streak lately. The last thing I wanted was to upset her further, yet it would be foolish of me to just give up on something so promising.
Can you think of anyone who might want to do you harm by taking your son?
Several, I'm afraid.
Go on.
I haven't exactly had the best of luck, Mr. Fordham. That's why this latest streak was so important to me. The truth is, I've gambled away most of my money. I've had to take out several loans so Miriam doesn't get suspicious. If she ever found out, it would be over. I can't lose her, Mr. Fordham. I just can't.
Where have I heard this before? You know, things would be so much easier if people just talked.
You are not wrong.
I've tried doing business above board, but lately I've had to seek other resources.
What do you mean?
I was forced to visit a lending office. The owner was a rather shady Sambo, but I figured he'd be easier to deal with than the usual sheenies that run those type of places.
Can you believe this guy? Maybe we should just leave the kid be. He'd probably be better raised by wolves.
I don't
Who was the
know
owner?
either of those words.
Mr. LeFay. I didn't bother to get his first name. His business is an abattoir row in Chumley. Horrid place. But I was desperate.
You think this Mr. LeFay may have taken your son as collateral?
Let's just say there isn't much those type of people wouldn't do to put a crown in their pocket.
I'm guessing they are not white. Or they are not whatever these guys are. There is a lot of racism, although it could be also they are poor.
How goes the construction of the new airship?
There have been some complications, but nothing we can't handle.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I already told you about the trouble with protesters at the yard, and we're blocked pending Royal Maverick's review of the safety regulations for the prototype etheric diffusion engines. Agitators and red tape aside, we should still be on schedule to have the Lenore finished and in the air by the end of the year. But really, Mr. Fordham, what the deuce does this have to do with finding Charles?
He has a point, you know.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right. If you don't mind, Mr. Fordham, I'm going back to the living room. I don't want Miriam getting suspicious.
I hoped he would stay here so I can talk to her more freely.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris.
Okay. Oh damn. Okay, 2 new places to go. We'll explore everything because although I'm pretty sure it's the woman that lost her son, the game does give you various aspects, so better safe than sorry.
Well, someone certainly wasn't shy about making their opinion known.
And so we say to Harris and his cronies, no, we will not stand for this. Too many have died to allow this to continue. Steam tech must be stopped.
Pardon me, are you Arthur Devons by any chance?
Yes? Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You recognize this letter, Mr. Devens?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr. Malcolm Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Me and everyone else would had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent.
That background noise.
What have you got against the Harris family?
Family? Don't know nothing about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds. The man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Some things never change.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
Charles Harris? Who's that?
Clyde Harris's grandson.
I didn't even know he had a grandson. I can't believe someone with a grandkid, a family, would want more flying death in the air. How many more people have to die before someone realizes that steam machines are evil? People will kill their own mams for a crown these days.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devens?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you send along with your letters. It's a voodoo spell meant to cause bad luck in business. Quite a convenient solution, wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you're on about.
Come now, Mr. Devens. I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
All right, fine. I went to go see one of them magic women in Gascon. She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought maybe if I used it, I could scare Harris enough to get him to stop making the new airship.
Well, I don't mean to be one to put a damper on your amateur witchcraft, but it doesn't seem to be doing you much good.
No, his grandson got kidnapped. That's not something I'd call lucky.
Dude.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction is doing ain't right. I lost my wife in the Ligeen crash, and I'm not the only one, neither. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship. It's like a slap in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Ligeen disaster. Not only that, we want compensation for our losses. Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper. It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future.
Yeah, sure, you can stop progress like
Call
that.
the whole thing off.
The innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Humans are expendable. Unfortunately.
You must have loved your wife very much.
Are you joking? I love her more than there are stars in the sky. She was my whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life. It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed. You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
I hope that's not foreshadowing.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice. Appreciate every moment you have.
Jesus. That's really heavy foreshadowing.
Out of your life, leaving you with nothing.
You know, this fellow was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket. The type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon.
So it was an expensive jacket. I don't know why I remembered it was cheap.
You recognize this button?
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that
Oh my god.
put it into the street, replaced with some
I told you about how evil these machines are.
You seem very dedicated to your cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
There's quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
I've heard stories about some more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
You mean the Red Axe? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Are you a member of the Red Axe, Mr. Devon?
No, I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard. Now, if you don't mind, I think we should drop the subject.
Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Alright, that didn't help us like at all. But I didn't expect it to. Anyway, you never know. Until you ask around.
Hello, sir. Welcome to LaFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LaFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
And I'm not here to cause any, for the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs. We should get along fine.
Do you suppose LaFay turns the heat up to put some pressure on his clients? LaFay with a woman and a small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man. He actually has a degree in business from the University of New Bretagne? What a waste.
He seems to be putting it in good
Crew
use.
escaping a shipwreck on a violent sea. Not the most comforting painting to look at while waiting for a loan. That's the latest model Computron. They don't come cheap. LaFay must be doing pretty well for himself.
Mr. LaFay, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Okay, so it was racism.
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday, saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him.
Look at
As soon as he
that
walked through the door, I could tell his type.
suit he's
What type is
wearing.
that?
Upper class, bored with his life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good. Maybe you can pursue money lending if the whole private investigator thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, then.
Aside from that, I don't know anything about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to a minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Are you aware that Malcolm's son, Charles, was kidnapped last night?
I had no idea he even had a son. As I said, I don't ask my clients too many personal questions. But now
Bullshit.
you've told me, I suppose that would explain the emergency he mentioned in his letter. Poor guy.
Exactly how much did Mr. Harris borrow from you?
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It would help to have an idea of exactly how much he owes you, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
A considerable sum.
Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
What's your policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
There are a few options. For the first 3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as to fake his own death.
Do you ever employ any more unusual methods?
Now wait just a minute. I see where this is going. Mr. Fordham, I'm a family man myself. If you're implying that I would stoop to kidnapping someone's child as collateral,
I never said that, Mr. LaFay.
look, I have a family to consider. I'm not about to go getting my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
Take a look at this piece of fabric. Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Ooh, nice animation. Can I do something with this? Can I open it? Turn it around? Let's save. Oh, I can't save. God damn it. Well, it seems whole. I don't see anything missing. Maybe from the inside, but I can't open it, so... You would think you would be able to open it so you can see all of it, but... You know... Anyway, I don't... Yeah, seems perfectly... fine. It would be on the inside though, so... Again, kinda strange, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see... Let's pixel hunt, just in case... Nah.
No tears in mine, huh?
Not a one. You clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to discourage you, Mr. Fordham, but I've seen a lot of people with this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see. Thank you for the information, Mr. LeFay.
That's an interesting information, actually. Mr. Harris owns one. Alright, I still haven't found anyone to ask about the boiler thing. I guess I can go back to our house and see if our wife knows something.
Dearest. I have returned.
It's good to have you back.
But I will do that in the next episode. For now, thank you for watching. As usually, feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. And I'll see you next time with more Lamplight City.